Não. So, thank you. Eu falo pouquinho português, but I'm going to do this in English. It'll be much easier to understand. So, some of you may know me as a conservationist of rainforest in Amazonas for the last 15 years, and some may know me from the Eliasch Review, which was about financing global forests. That was published in 2008. Now, the planet wasn't designed for 7 billion people living the way we do. And we can't address climate change without addressing rainforests. And this is, unfortunately, the rainforests have been very much ignored. There have not been sufficient financing mechanisms, and it hasn't been taken seriously enough in the context of climate change and the activities pertaining thereto. So my brief, which is very much supported by the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who is very passionate about rainforests and forestry in general, is to look at ways to come up with a global financing schemes to protect the rainforests. Now, the UK will host the 2020 COP in Glasgow, and we hope that rainforests will have a very prominent place, and rightfully so, on the agenda. What is very important in order to achieve a good outcome here is that the protection schemes are basically done together with the people in the rainforest, for the people in the rainforest. So I'm a great believer in making the standing tree more valuable than the cut-down tree. And that can be achieved in many ways. It's facilitating healthcare and education, but it can also be to give harvesting rights to fruits and nuts. So what we have to strive for is to, through avoided deforestation and reforestation, achieve net zero emissions. That is a very important goal. And we have heard here stories about tipping points beyond which there is no return. This is very important also for supply chain of food and water, but also food and water security. And with what's going on in Britain at the moment, I want to give you an example, which is, take deforestation in the Congo Basin. That led to rain falling in the wrong places. People started migrating, land grabbing, and conflict that became known as the Darfur crisis. Also got rising food prices as a consequence of that, which later on led to, or was a contributor to, Arab Spring. With that came the conflict in Syria. There was a huge refugee crisis in Europe, which got confused with European immigration policy, and whoops, we got Brexit. So the example here is how far away something can have implications near you. And that is something very important. So from my side, I very much look forward to working with all of you in achieving these goals towards Glasgow 2020. Thank you very much.